Hello and welcome to Steve's Backyard Bonsai. Today I'm going to continue pruning up my trees and getting them ready to put away for the winter. This one particularly I'm going to be pruning for structure, and I'm going to give a nice critical look. This is my cotoneaster upright that I'm trying to style like an orchard tree because cotoneaster has nice fruit that can mimic apples. And if I could get this to look like an apple tree, that's my goal. I last worked on this tree with Dave from Dave's Bonsai. And we had a really good time looking at this tree, discussing what the future of this tree could look like. And I've got to make some of those decisions today. I'm going to start with this branch. This branch is straight, log-like all the way to here, which is unfortunate, but it has that feature elsewhere as well. But it also has some interesting curves that, kind of make these other views interesting as well. And I don't want to lose that. So, starting down here, I'm just going to clear away any kind of little growth that I don't want to encourage. This is too low and it doesn't flow. I'm going to take that off. So I've got a big blob up here that is a remnant of the last pruning. This needs to be dealt with. Now I can start fresh with these branches down here, but I'll still be left with a bulge, and I don't want this branch to die off. So I'm going to shorten these, and if I see buds, great. There's two little branches coming out from there. I don't see decent buds, but I'm going to prune this one to a branch. How do I want that? I'm going to prune it way back to here. And hopefully I'll get a branch continuing in this direction. This one I'm going to take 2 leaves off. This is coming out with a lot of vigor, and it kind of divides right here. So that would be a good place to take this branch to. And I will get 2 branches there. This one's coming from the same spot. I have to deal with paring this down. All right, I'm going to eliminate this branch. See if I can carve this down a bit. But this has to be done. All right, that's better. I got to get that heartwood down a bit. My very thin slime rubber cement, because this thing is going back outside. It's pretty awful, but I'm counting on some growth next year. I want this to fill out at this level, no higher than this, and create a pad here. The trunk kind of flattened out here, and it's very marked up here. I'm waiting for it to grow out a bit. As a matter of fact, I think I could pare that down a bit as well. Going up this branch. All right, going up this branch. I've thought about taking it off right here and just growing this section out, letting this grow up a little bit. But this is such a nice figure right here. And there's some taper, some natural taper, and some movement. I don't want to lose that. So can I live with losing what's behind it? This big section right here. There's a lot to it. I'm making structural decisions now. Future structural decisions. I could direct this branch and let that extend, and I will direct it into this area to grow up into this area, because I am seriously considering taking the top off of this right here. It would still allow me to grow these out, flatten these out, and have these be like reachable orchard boughs, but that's got some movement too. So I can chicken out. This will let me chicken out. I could chicken out to here, actually. And I think I'm going to. I think that's where I chicken out to, right here. Okay, I think that was a good decision. Let me clear out this on the inside here. Okay, I've got you looking down at the branch now, which is kind of how I'm looking at it. And if this is the front of the tree, the decisions I'm making right now don't really matter to the aesthetic I'm going to achieve right now. But I'm going to take this heavy part off. And there are two branches right below that'll fill this spot when the growth starts coming. If I take it to here, I think I'll get a branch continuing from that point to fill this area. I'm going to take this piece off, which means I'm going to lower that a little bit. I think I could get a branch starting right about here, flattening and rounding the pad. This interferes over here. I like the way this flows out, so I'm going to encourage that and remove that vertical piece. Now I want to shorten these, try and make them look nice. And yeah, this will grow in this direction. So that is now the first pad. I reduced some ugly stuff here. Oh, let me clean that up. Okay, I got to deal with this wild thing right here. That's my back branch. Does this contribute to it right here? I don't think so. This one here is growing inward. I'm going to reduce this. Believe it or not, I still have a sprinkler running. Here's a pruning stub. I've got to learn how to work with this tree. And that's what I'm doing. I'm learning how to work with this tree. and I'm letting you see the process. There is validity in that. I'm going to take this inside one off in favor of being able to see the branch structure. Let's see. I'm chopping this part right off. It's fat. I get some taper at the end. It's dividing. I hope you can see it. Let's see. Came a little close to that branch. I kind of like that one hanging down. Hope I can keep it with what I did. Pruning for the future of this tree, not for the present. This tree's going to go dormant because it's going to be outside. When it wakes up, I don't want it spending energy on things that isn't helping the design. Front, got a back branch. Is that too? That's too tall. I'm going to go down here. And this is a little too long. I'll go to there. Like this. Cute. This crosses over here. I can end this branch right here. Right there. Hoping something nice happens here. All right. This is the hard side. I like this branch. I like this branch. And if I keep these two branches, I can get rid of this lump on top of it, or at least reduce it by quite a bit, and hopefully get some. I'm going to keep as much vigor on this branch as possible because I'm about to take off a lot of vigor. All right, here goes. I don't want to take much underneath off, but I got to take some stuff off on top. I think this will branch if I take it to here. I think this will branch if I go here. I don't think I need this at all. Grooming for the future. This branch. Nice movement at the end, but it's one of those 90-degree bends. And then the movement below that is, I don't know, it looks like, from this direction, it looks like this piece is also 90 degrees. I could cut this part off and try to develop that. I could do it in steps. Step 1. Step 2. I still have a back branch. So what I'm considering, flatten this, I flatten this, I flatten this, and this. I flatten this. Now, what do I do back here? And I'm considering taking something off of here. This is a big cut. No looking back. All right, so my cotoneaster that I'm growing to look like an orchard tree is all pruned up. The side view is not two-dimensional. The back view, I wonder if I can do a little more work on this. Well, I'll do that off camera. The back view is not bad if I can get these scars down a little bit, and I could flatten it out as it grows. Let's bring in the next victim. Here's another tree that I worked on with Dave from Dave's Bonsai when he was here on his during his road trip east of the Mississippi. I was lucky enough to be one of his stopping points, and we had a great time. And this is another tree that we talked about. What are we going to do for the future? We took off a lot. The first thing I really want to do is take this wire off. Yeah, some significant wire bite there. And this was only done in August. So you got to be vigilant. And you got to have time. I had a very busy summer. What do I want to do with this tree? Well, the first thing I want to do is clean up this apex. I've got nice buds here. This first one doesn't look so good. This one's fine. This one's fine. I think I'm going to cut this down to here. This is American elm. Whoa. Wow. I can see what's happening here. This bark has begun to roll over, but underneath where it is now, I got to take quite a bite out of this. Do I want both of those branches coming out the top? That's the next question. I've got nice buds here and here, so I'm going to take this down. And some for dieback. I should get 2 branches here. Okay. So I am going to leave this. And I've got a bud there. This is pretty tender. This has already died back somewhat. I'm going to take it back a little more. There's a bud right here. And there's a bud right here. Going in and outward, and this one's kind of up. We'll see. This might come off altogether, or this might come off. Who knows? Actually, this coming off probably fits the bill more, but I think that's a later decision. This branch, one that I bent up, I'll take off this pruning stub. Take it to here. There's a bud on this side. Take it to here. There's a bud on the opposite side. That leaves one branch. This guy. Got a bud back here. We'll see what we can do with the further branching on this tree. So this guy goes back outside. Let me take this moss off the base. Got some nice flare on that side. All right, decisions for springtime or early summer, depending on when I get to it. I mean, I think it has the potential to be a nice elm tree. It's getting some character on it. I can peel away some of this bark. Go. Chip away some of that old bark. Reveal a very nicely healing wound. It's just a cheap dental set I think I got off of wish.com some years back. All right, Dave, this is the tree we worked on. I think it's got some potential. I think I want to take that back a little further. Oh, I don't know. How about here? My trunk, my primary branches. Let's get secondary branching going, and this could be something someday. Next victim. Here's my third Alberta spruce. I pruned up 2 of them, I think back in April. I did some work in October. And I'm going to do a little work now on this one. I didn't touch this one. This is a dead branch. I'm going to take it right off. Goodbye. Here's a dead piece of this branch. Goodbye. Here's a dead piece of this branch. Goodbye. Here's a little branchette growing in between. Doesn't need to be there. This one I'm going to let develop. Maybe not. Nope, not going to let it develop. It's in a bad spot. This branch is pretty weak. I'm just going to take this dead part off and see what happens. It's kind of forked like that. I don't like this branch at all. And there's no back, well, there's a bud there actually. But I don't know if it's a viable bud. As I've mentioned before, some of my viewers have told me, or one in particular, has told me that they've given up on Alberta spruce because it doesn't back bud. So I may do the same. These are very well developed on the apex, perhaps too much. I'm gonna take this piece off. Take this piece off. Just trying to simplify it a little bit. I'm going to take that piece off. Let more light in. Take this branch off. Here's a piece that grows up into the branch above it. I'll take this off. Okay, do I need that branch? This branch causes confusion between these upper branches and these lower branches, so I'm going to take that off. Dead stub there. I'm going to take this branch off because it interferes with that other branch. This one starting to grow toward the inside. I want to simplify the apex here, the apex of this branch. I want to take the top off of this. Take this one branch off on the inside. Let it grow outward. This, not helpful. All right, that's got that pruned up. I'll clean out some of these needles. Smells great. 2 branches coming from one spot here. But it gives the tree a little depth on that side. I think I'm going to leave it alone. Let's thin out this. There isn't really much to do there. I've got this one in a triagami pot, tied in, very, very shallow, trying to develop those roots. None have escaped, but I didn't have this one on a tray of water or anything. It was just sitting on the bench. It's doing fine. And it should do fine over the winter as well, outside. I'll have it on the ground or on some gravel. It's somewhat protected. I think I'm going to get rid of this branch. Here's a little interfering section. This one I'm going to just do clip and grow on, and hopefully I don't mess it up. Take the top off of this. It does have buds, but the buds are all in the, there's no buds on the, or very few buds on the old wood. Here's a case where you've got a little branch wanting to start there, one wanting to start here. You always want to reduce the dominant branches, the ones that are growing with a lot of vigor in the apex. And I don't mean necessarily reduce them in height, but you want to reduce them in bulk and remove any branches that are interfering with branches that are next to it, or ones that will become problems later on in the development of the tree. Still a little dense right here. And I think that's got this Alberta spruce pruned up. It's not the most beautiful tree, but it's far from my ugliest either. I'm going to take this little lump of resin off, because that's really all it is. I'll get some rubber cement on there, seal it up for the winter. Smells just like I'm milling some pine. Speaking of pines, I've got 2 trays of Japanese white pine seeds with nothing showing yet. Well, we'll see what happens there, because I'd love to have some Japanese white pines to get on their way as bonsai. Okay, Luca, okay, I'll let you in. I was just looking at this branch. Without it, I reduced the swelling here, and it doesn't really do much for the tree. So I think I'm okay taking it off. I'll trim this back, and I'll seal that up. Yeah, that's a lot better. Sealer on that. We'll come back to these trees in spring. Okay, that's it for today. We've done quite a few trees, get them ready for their spring growth. But for right now, thanks for keeping me company in my backyard.